In today's fight breakdown, we have a woman who uses jiu-jitsu in an attempt to protect herself in a street fight. However, she seems to have forgotten that there are no rules in the street. Jiu-jitsu is great for self-defense. I don't think there's any denying that. However, it is important to note that jiu-jitsu is a sport first and foremost. And so therefore, not everything you learn in jiu-jitsu should be utilized in a street fight. Now, I'm not saying that stuff like triangle chokes can't work in a street fight, especially against untrained people. What I am getting at is that the risks are incredibly high when we are talking about real life altercations on the street compared to training in a padded mat room or even a competition. For instance, if this woman had attempted this triangle choke in a competition and her opponent picked her up and slammed her back down to the mat, there's a very good chance that her opponent would have been disqualified. However, in a real life altercation like we just saw, had this guy decided to spike her on her head or slam her to the concrete, it would have been a very different outcome. We need to remember that in real life, concrete flooring is a lot less forgiving than padded mats. And this guy clearly has no regard for her safety, because after she falls back down to the ground, he proceeded to kick and punch her. I cut that portion out just for viewer discretion purposes, but he proceeded to kick and punch her multiple times. So what should she have done? She should have focused more on her open guard to keep the guy off of her altogether. In all honesty, it looked like she had a good handle of the situation up until she shot the triangle choke. Now, I won't deny it. That was a beautiful setup, and you can tell that she has clearly trained before, but again, it was not the time or place for that. Understand that there are 4 golden rules for grappling, especially when it comes to self-defense, and you need to take note of these. Number 1, be the person on top. Number 2, when on top, stay on top. Number 3, when on bottom, have a guard that shall not be passed. And number 4, never forget rule number 1. In simple terms, if you are looking to use jiu-jitsu for self-defense, use your jiu-jitsu to keep that person from getting on top of you. Use your jiu-jitsu to get back to a top and more dominant position. Use your jiu-jitsu to maintain control of the person and or get back to your feet safely. I don't care what your experience is. We do not want to be on the ground, let alone on our backs in a fight, unless you absolutely have to be there. So again, in my opinion, had she focused more on utilizing her open guard to keep this person off of her in the first place and to try to focus on creating some distance between her and her attacker, I think she could have won this encounter. So that being said, let me show you a few specific things that she should have done in this situation other than shooting that triangle choke. I'm going to show you 3 options on how we can get back to our feet. Again, what we're looking for is just a brief moment in time where I can safely get back to my feet and this person isn't just gonna bum rush me and start hitting me again. The first one is applying damage. Now, when I'm in this open guard position, ideally, especially if he's in range for me to have contact, I wanna make sure that I have heavy resistance. I'm not just gonna have my feet relaxed where he can just push them out of the way and pass. But more realistically, because we are talking self-defense, I wanna be throwing these strikes. If he's in range for me to kick, I'm going to be throwing kicks, whether it's to the knees, whether it's to the groin. Maybe I post my foot and I elevate my hips and get a nice kick to the face. Maybe I double leg blast him, whatever the case is. I'm looking to apply damage. Now, either I'm going to land a strike that gets him to back off a little bit, and as he backs off, that gives me the time where I can work my technical stand-up, or I'm going to land a nice shot that actually applies some serious damage, maybe gets him to fall, maybe I busted his knee, and again, that gives me the moment in time that I need to get back to my feet. So that's the first way. The second way, he smothers those legs, he starts getting past, and they start looking to pass your hips. This is where we now switch to utilizing sweeps, because I'm not really in a position to apply damage. I can go for basic sweep, grab the ankles, elevate my knees out to the side, get him to fall. Now, however, I'm not looking to sit here. The moment he falls to the ground, I'm going to use that momentum to work myself back up. If I need to pass and control him for whatever reason, I will do so. More realistically, in a street situation, I'm going to use that as my opportunity to get some distance, or we're going to turn and start running as fast as we can. You can also hit a tripod sweep if the opportunity presents itself. So maybe I start going here and he steps back with one of the legs, and as he steps back, I switch it to a tripod sweep, but we do the same thing. I use that as my opportunity to get back to my feet, and then we book it as fast as possible. Now, the last option, we'll show it from this angle. Maybe he got past, I missed my opportunity to throw kicks, and he starts working all the way past to my side. I have 2 options from here. Number 1, I'm gonna look to recompose, where I again get back to this position, and hopefully I have an opportunity to now start throwing those kicks and we just essentially rinse and repeat. Or if he starts really kind of pressuring in, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to turn into him, grab a leg, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to wrestle up. Again, if I need to tie up with the person, take them back down, get to the back, I can, or I use this as an opportunity to disengage. Now, realistically, because it is a self-defense situation, I don't just necessarily want to pick up this leg and let go. So more likely than not, I would suggest that we work towards getting to the back to some extent, because now from here, I can safely disconnect, get some distance, and again, do what we need to do from there. Now, for those of you that do train jiu-jitsu, in your opinion, what do you believe are the most critical components of jiu-jitsu that people need to learn for self-defense? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Otherwise, we will see you on the next Fight Breakdown. Stay safe.